What is up, YouTube? It is Doc here, Docky Style Gaming, and I am back at it again with another GodFall video for you all today. Now, with the new Challenger edition of the game just now dropping, we are getting so many new players who are finally getting a chance to get their hands on the game and getting ready to experience GodFall's in-game modes. So, in this video, I'll be breaking down and going in depth on the first in-game mode that most players should honestly start with and how to maximize your loot drops from it. And that game mode, of course, is Dreamstones. So, like I always say, without wasting any more of y'all's time, let's hop straight into this video. Now, Dreamstones is the ideal game mode for new players to start with. It's the perfect place to start farming some new gear to upgrade your build, while also increasing your ascension levels, and is the ideal spot for farming resources for your forge to enchant and upgrade your loot. And a good starting point for you to be able to explore the air, water, and earth realms, while also learning some of the boss mechanics you may encounter in the Ascended Towers of Trials. And, of course, while also farming some of those location-specific resources to help you unlock some of the new Valorplates. The Valorplate resource that can be found on the Earth Realm is the Infused Jasper, and it looks a bit like this. Next, we have the Water Realm resource, which is the Crystalline tier, and it should look something like this. And then lastly, we have the Air Realm resource, which looks like this, the Etheric Filament. So you'll also need Valorplate cores to help you unlock those Valorplates, and luckily those can be found hidden around all three of the realms. So be on the lookout for corpses of Valorplates laying on the ground. And to make it a bit easier, by going into your Spirit Vision, which on PlayStation controllers is the left D-pad button, you'll be able to check and see if there are any other resources around, making it a bit easier for you to farm. But now moving on to the actual types of Dreamstones, first we have our standard and exalted Dreamstones, and then you have your volatile Dreamstones. But let's start with the standard or your exalted Dreamstones, since that's the one that everybody will start with when they hop into Dreamstones, and once you understand the concept of this, it'll be easier to explain volatile Dreamstones. So when you first access the Dreamstones menu from your Sanctum, you'll see a few with various levels tied to them. These levels indicate the levels of enemy you'll be facing on top of the level of loot that Dreamstone will be dropping as well. Now, loot caps at level 50, so any Dreamstones level 50 or higher will still only drop max level 50 loot. Now, to unlock the next higher level Dreamstones, you must first beat the previous one. There are a total of 21 Dreamstones to unlock in total, and the first half of them being lower level Dreamstones, under level 50 mostly. Now, the second half of those Dreamstones are your exalted Dreamstones, which all go past level 50. Exalted Dreamstones should be where most players run, as that's where the max level gear comes from. Lower level Dreamstones are honestly more for quick runs and resource farming, as the loot that you typically get there won't be for your max level. Now, once you select the Dreamstones that you wish to run, it will cost a bit of Electrum, but don't worry, by completing a Dreamstone, you'll get that back and more. Next, you'll be greeted with even more things to understand, and with the new Dreamstones 2.0 that was updated into the game, there's a lot to get into. So again, once you select your Dreamstone, your screen should look something like this. You'll see one red boss node and two blue boss hunt nodes. Now, sometime later in your Dreamstone runs, there can actually spawn a second boss node, but it's not your main one. But let's go over both of these nodes. Now, your red boss node is the main and your final fight of that Dreamstone. So if you choose to play it first, you will complete the Dreamstone once you beat the boss. Now, I don't recommend doing this because this is not the most efficient way to maximize your loot drops. Now, next we have the blue boss nodes, which are your boss hunts. Now, completing these will add bonus rewards to your red boss node and a set of resources and rewards for you upon completion, as well as a new type of resource called Stability and Lucidity. Now, what exactly is Stability and Lucidity? Well, this is the brand new feature that was added with Dreamstones 2.0. But essentially, Stability and Lucidity is gained every time you complete an objective in the Dreamstone's boss hunt nodes. There's 3 objectives in total, so if your boss hunt says per objective, you get 3 Stability and 7 Lucidity. If you complete all 3 objectives in that boss hunt, you'll get 9 Stability total and 21 Lucidity. If you only complete 2 of those objectives of that boss hunt, you'll get 6 Stability, 14 Lucidity, and so on and so forth. Now, keep in mind that some of these objectives might actually require skill unlocks, so take that into consideration when you're heading into Dreamstones with certain builds. Some objectives may require you to do a petrifying slam, and if you don't have that skill unlocked, you won't be able to complete that objective. Now, luckily the skill grade can be reset at any time, but something to think about when building your Valorplates when it comes to Dreamstone objectives. But first, let's talk about Lucidity before we even start hopping into stability. Now, Lucidity is used for adding more resources, adding higher level loot, and adding specific loot to your Dreamstones run each boss fight. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see something that says Dreamstone Shaping, and here is where you can add the type of loot or resources you want to add to your Dreamstone run. This is where you spend the Lucidity that you earn. You can save some up for some of the rare rewards, like getting an additional legendary every boss hunt run, or you can spend it every time you get some, just so you can have a slew of rewards for every boss hunt that you do in Dreamstones. And one last thing to note when it comes to Lucidity is that it will reset to 0 every time you start a new Dreamstone. So spend it wisely, but also spend it while you got it in Dreamstones, because once you complete it, you'll have to start that cycle all over again in the next Dreamstone. But now let's move over to stability and what that is. Now, stability will let you run the Dreamstone longer than normal. At the top left of your Dreamstone menu, you'll see a bar that shows your stability meter. It'll show something like 50 out of 100. And this is where the Dreamstones actually becomes a tug of war. It becomes a sense of, do you want to farm more Lucidity for more loot, or do you want to farm more stability so you can farm longer? Now again, on the left of your screen in the middle, you'll see something that says the next boss action. And this will sometimes show banes that can negatively affect your runs. It can also show plus Dreamstone levels, which will increase the Dreamstone's difficulty, but what you will almost always see under the next boss action is minus stability, and how much will be taken away from the meter after you complete a boss hunt. So if it says minus 30 stability, and you do a boss hunt that only gives you 3 stability per objective, even if you do all 3 objectives, you'll only gain a total of 9 stability. So you've stopped yourself from losing the full 30, but you still lost 21 stability. And once your stability meter at the top hits 0, you are forced to finish the Dreamstone. No more boss hunts, no more Lucidity, no more farming. You fight the final boss to finish the Dreamstone. Now, why is it a tug of war? Well, first, you're fighting against the game to not take your stability so you can play longer. But the game also intentionally puts you in a rock and a hard place, because there's a reason they gave you 2 blue nodes. Because one of them gives you more stability but less Lucidity per objective, while the other node gives you less stability but more Lucidity per objective. So you gotta choose your boss hunts wisely and prioritize what's more important to you, while also paying attention to the next boss action. Because sometimes the boss action might just be minus 7 stability, so it'll be better for you to do a node with less stability but more Lucidity, but other times the boss action might have high stability loss, so do the node that gives you more stability per objective but less Lucidity for adding more rewards to your run. So definitely prep accordingly when it comes to your stability. So that pretty much covers all things standard and exalted Dreamstones. Next, we have our volatile Dreamstones. So sit back, because this one is a doozy. Now, volatile Dreamstones are essentially the same as normal Dreamstones. Alright, moving on now. No, I'm kidding. In concept, everything is pretty much the same as a normal Dreamstone run, but the difference with volatile Dreamstones is that they have unique modifiers and are higher level Dreamstones that have harder enemies but better rewards. They can also come in different rarities and levels of difficulty, but it's all RNG based on the level and rarity that you'll get. Now, volatile Dreamstones don't cost any Electrum to start, but once you complete a volatile Dreamstone, it'll be gone forever. Now, you can unlock more by unlocking new ones from standard Dreamstones, but everything that you pretty much learn from your standard or exalted Dreamstones apply with volatile Dreamstones, so, farm away and get that better loot. So that is pretty much everything when it comes to Dreamstones, how to get started and how to maximize the loot and how to play this virtual tug of war with the game mode. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's the perfect spot for new players to farm gear and resources to start prepping your build for the Ascended Towers of Trials, which I will be breaking down in the next video. So hopefully this helps everyone get started with Dreamstones and is one step closer to helping you get that perfect build in order for Ascended Towers of Trials. Again, the Challenger Edition of GodFall is currently free this month for PlayStation Plus and will also be available for free for PC players December 9th through December 16th. So if you are curious about GodFall, or the gameplay, or more, now is the perfect time to pick it up and hop in. And if you are looking for people to play with, I do have a Discord. A link to that is in the video description. We have LFGs, we have builds, we have guides, and so much more. Super helpful community. So if you're looking to play GodFall or looking for people to play GodFall with, be sure to hop in the Discord. Again, link to that will be in the video description. Other than that, I am going to wrap it up, guys. So again, thank you all for watching. Like always, I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. Peace.